Sometimes it feels like the sun will never rise, like the birds will never sing again. Believe in a power greater than what you are going through. When you don't know what to do, keep breathing.
That's right. When you don't know what to do, just keep on breathing. From the City of Angels in Los Angeles, welcome to all my listeners out there in Radio Land. I'm Dave, the Caregiver's Caregiver, at caregiverdave.com, along with my lovely co-host, selling author, former mayor of Grover Beach, Debbie Peterson. I had to think of her name there for a second. Also coming to you live and on demand 24/7 on numerous syndicated radio and podcast networks on 30 global audio and video platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Vimeo, Stitcher, too many to mention, Spotify. All right, stop. In fact, we're proud to be voted #1 caregiver podcast on FeedSpot out of thousands and #1 on Player FM of the top 50. And we have an especially exciting show planned for you today. I'm so excited. Gayla Bentley. That's a great name, isn't it?
Hi, you all. Nice to see you both. I've really been looking forward to this.
Thank you. And let me just tell them all about you. You're a global stylist expert whose superpower is helping people see themselves beautifully.
Yes.
Clients on 4 continents, including European royalty, a U.S. First Lady, you'll have to tell us which one, and has probably seen more naked bodies than Hugh Hefner. Her signature insight: no body is perfect, but everyone can have style. Amen to that. A fierce advocate for fashion that fits real life, Gayla is on a mission to shift the narrative. Fashion is what you buy, style is what you create. Her memoir, Fashion's Stepsister, A Journey to Style, tells the story of her transformation from chubby to chic. Or is it cheek?
Chic.
They just spell it wrong.
They do.
Your globetrotting adventures and your empowering practical wisdom for cultivating personal style. Gayla cut her teeth as director of Saks Fifth Avenue Club, led Paris shopping tours for VIP clients, and built her own design brand, Gayla Bentley Fashion Design Group. She's a Shark Tank Season 1 winner and was named Woman of the Year by its National Association of Women Business Owners. Fashion Stepsister is available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook on Amazon, Nook, and Kobo. And when you say Season 1, you mean their very first show? I mean, the very first season?
Very first season. That was almost 12 years ago. Can you believe it? They're going into season 13 now.
Yeah, I was just a young man back then. But before we get started, I want to take this moment to thank my last week's guest, Barb Stone, and our show entitled Life is So Much to Drool About, Overcoming Challenges. And just a reminder, you can watch or listen to that interview and all our interviews, including this one, on caregiverdave.com or any of our other 30
wonderful
audio and video networks that I mentioned earlier. All right, enough of that. Gayla, so great to have you on the Caregiver Dave show.
Yeah, I'm so honored to be with both of you. There's so much to say.
I always like to ask my guests just who is Gayla Bentley and why was she placed on this earth? Since I already said all about you, tell us something that we didn't mention.
Well, I'd like to be a self-starter, a go-getter, and a solution maker. And I love everyone to feel like they matter and that there's nothing about anyone that cannot be curated into whatever they want. Anybody can dream a dream and make it happen. And I'm a perfect example of that. And I love helping people to achieve their dreams. And my forte, as you said, my special power is doing it through what they wear, because you only have one chance to make a first impression.
And you certainly have made a first impression today. For those of you who can see her, she is amazing. And she looks amazing. She sounds amazing. And this woman who just 1 week ago was undergoing heart surgery.
Yes.
And it's like it never happened.
Right. Well,
to go get her. I told her successful people do things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. And
that's what that's what we're all about, all of us. And, you know, I know the information in my sleep or even under, so I can talk to you about anything. Nothing can stop me. And
Debbie, why don't you start us off with the first question?
Yeah. So what really intrigued me was your comment that caregivers can regain energy. How do you suggest caregivers regain their energy?
Well, a lot of it is their self-care. It's 24/7 depending on what schedule they have for giving, caring. But we have to carve out the time to take care of themselves. Because you know, if you're not taking care of yourself, you'll eventually just lose interest in what you're doing and quit because you don't have any more energy. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
So, that's why my book is so important because it helps people to understand how important that is. And you don't have to do it every day, but you have to make sure you're doing it every week and being organized for the week ahead. The more organized you are, the more time you take to take care of yourself, the better you feel and even the better care you can give.
And for those caregivers who are wondering, what have I got to learn from a fashion expert? Come on.
Right.
Caregivers let themselves go. They start, just looking frumpy and, being overshaved, undershaved if a man, no makeup if a woman. And I'm not saying that every woman has to wear makeup, but come on, don't let yourself go because it takes more work to get back to where you were than to maintain what you were.
What a great comment
you're caring for, you want to look your best for them. And if you want to go out and get a massage or go out and get a cup of coffee, and if you look in the mirror and you like what you see, you'll feel better about yourself. Yes.
Amen. You said it better than I could. That was perfect.
Look, I'm stealing the interview. Shame on me.
That's okay. But it's so true. I mean, the longer you let yourself go, like you said, the longer it takes to get back. And then the more excuses sound like reality again. Like I have a lot of people that say, well, I'm going to buy new clothes when I lose weight. And I'm not going to do anything until I lose weight. And I'm like, well, first of all, you should look great on your way down because you'll feel better about yourself. When you pass the mirror and you look good, doesn't make any difference how much you weigh. You just don't wear clothes that are too tight. You're uncomfortable. And if you're on the job as a caregiver and you're wearing clothes that are too tight, you're caregiving, anytime you have a break, you tend to want to snack and eat because that's your only form of, you think you're doing something fun for yourself, but that goes away in seconds. But then you put on that weight in seconds, and then it takes longer to take that weight off. So
you're spelling on the way down, WEIGHT.
That's right.
Way down.
GH, yes. On the way, yeah. I really think it's important to look good on your way down. And nowadays, there's clothes in everybody's size: tall, short, thin, curvaceous, older, younger. I mean, there's no excuses anymore not to look your best. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. I love to teach people, and it's all in my book, on how to do thrifting and how to make a wardrobe work for you so that you're always having something to wear that's special. It's not how much you spend, it's what you choose. So my book teaches people what to choose. So if you're wearing a t-shirt and khakis to work as a caregiver, or stretchies, or what do they call those uniforms? I saw a lot of them in the hospital. Anyway.
The ones that I sleep in, actually.
Oh, I see. But you can still add a little surprise to whatever you're wearing to make yourself happy, and then it carries on to your patient.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of surgeries in my life, and it's really made a difference. And I always end up doing any caregiver I have. I've broken my neck. Oh. I've wore an ostomy bag. I've had 2 new knees, a new shoulder. I mean, I've got 4 hernia surgery. I mean, heart surgery. I had a stroke last summer.
Oh my God.
And I know, but I always put on some lipstick and it gets me through it. And then the caregivers, because I'm staring at them all day, they never leave without something I've done to them, whether it's a new hairstyle or some makeup or some jewelry I'm not wearing, pass it on, anything you can do to make someone else feel special because they're working with me to make me feel healthy.
Well, I bet you go outside looking like this and people just stop you on the street and strike up a conversation. I mean, you look awesome. And it's scrubs, I think, was the word we were looking for.
Oh, right? Scrubs. Thanks, Dave. That was exactly the word.
I couldn't think of it either. I think we have similar brains here.
I put many a silk scarf on someone in scrubs, or a man. I put a man. I always have male and female accessories available, depending on who my caregiver is, so that everybody feels special.
So you're kind of a modern day Madonna or Lady Gaga because,
Oh
you
gosh.
just accessorize.
Yeah, accessories are what makes personal style.
Yeah,
Because
and all
people
you
should
have that's
have,
really different is a bow in your hair and
yeah,
interesting glasses and some lipstick,
yeah, that's it.
pearls. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not hard work.
And I got ready in 3 minutes, because
That's right. I didn't
what
give
I
you much time, did I? Yeah.
no, but what I love is, which is all in my book, Fashion Stepsister Journey to Style, is how you can do that. Because if you're organized with your
Ah,
wardrobe and your lips, your makeup, and figure out how to wear your hair all different ways, you can be ready in 3 minutes. And that's what I'm trying to get across to people. They can save time and money
right.
and anxiety and frustration.
And
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 then,
and caregivers are notorious for not taking care of themselves, not putting their needs first. I mean, like the
right,
airplane. Remember, put your oxygen mask on first. I mean, if the
right.
plane was going down and I saw my 4-year-old gasping for breath, I'm the caregiver's caregiver. Even I would have trouble, putting my mask on first. You want to like fix
Right.
somebody, and then
Your
I
instincts.
blacked out, we black, and we're all gone, right?
Yes, exactly.
So
But
I
that's
bet
why,
you've got some tips. I'd love
yes,
to hear some tips. Have you
Yeah,
got some tips for implementing self-care?
tips are good.
tips are good. Well, use a calendar. That's the funniest thing, easiest thing, whether it's on your phone or I like a calendar that's got a month at a glance.
Mhm.
And on this calendar, I look at the month and I make the days that I'm going to, whatever your work schedule is, you know what your days off are going to be. So write days off on all those days within that month.
Hmm.
And then you don't need to sleep on your day off the whole day, which is very normal. But write down 2 or 3 things that you will do each week on your day off to take care
Fun
of
things,
yourself.
I assume.
Oh, always. I mean, yes, I don't know how far to go on that, but no, but like if even just getting a manicure, men and women, or a
Hmm.
pedicure, it just makes you feel like, oh my goodness, I sat down and someone took care of me. If it's if you need to have your hair blow dried or color put in, and there's lots of ways of doing it inexpensively. You can
Hmm.
color your own hair. There's now makeup for your hair that you put on your roots, makes you have color.
Really?
So when you look, it's all about when you look in the mirror, you want to look the best you can for who you are. And then, like, I don't have time for massages, but I will go swimming. At the YMCA, or in my backyard. I'm fortunate. Take a long hot shower. I mean, anything that, if washing your own hair and putting lotion all over your body is self-care, that's what you need to do, and you need to write it down. Nothing has to be expensive. You don't even have to leave the house. You can put on your favorite music, order something that's your favorite healthy thing to eat, and maybe one little thing for dessert, so you can think, you do yourself something fun and delicious. I mean, there's just an amazing amount of things to make your life more joyous and fulfilled, and not stressed and not exhausted.
Yeah.
Caregivers, I really feel for caregivers because they are working 12-hour shifts a lot of times.
Yep. Well, and
So
the volunteer ones, yeah, they're working, but they
right,
don't even get paid. In
right,
fact, it's on 24-hour call.
right. Well, it's good for them to consider bringing their own music, or asking whoever is responsible for the person they're caring for if they could put on some classical music or some kind of
Mm,
music. Ask the patient, what kind of
great.
music do you like? Because it helps change the mind of the patient, and then it opens a conversation with the patient so that you're not just talking about their illness. I try to talk about everything but illness, because
Yep,
illness
yep,
is not a fun topic. Like I could tell you in 2 minutes, which I did of all my surgeries, but I never
yep.
concentrate on them. I don't blame God for any of them. I just get them done so I keep getting healthier and healthier so I can keep going and going. So as
And
a
headphones are
caregiver,
great with music, right? Just like,
yeah, headphones. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, not everybody can afford them, but everybody's got a phone nowadays, and you can put
For a couple of
pin.
bucks, you get the Apple ones. Everyone can afford
Yes,
headphones.
exactly. But listen to good music on your way to work.
Yeah.
You know, wear lip gloss if you don't want to wear lipstick. With a man, put on, hand lotion is inexpensive. Anything you can do just for 1 minute to give
The
yourself some
dollar
self-care.
store sells all that stuff.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness, that Dollar Tree, that dollar
Well,
store.
inflation. I think it's the $1.25 tree now.
Oh, I know. I was boycotting it for a while, but I'm back again for certain items.
So there's many ways that caregivers can look at themselves more importantly than they currently do. Right? They have many faceted roles that they never
Yes.
realize. Explain some of those.
Well, as a caregiver, um, you might be a married or a single caregiver, right?
Yeah.
So those are different roles. And then, what hobbies do you have? Have you set up any hobbies? Or what do you do? That's another self-care thing to do for yourself to relieve your stress. And then you have shopping, but my shopping, retail shopping, we do call it retail therapy, excuse me. Um, Depending on your budget, you don't need to go to Saks Fifth Avenue to buy a new item to feel better. Go thrifting. It's so much fun because the most fun is like I've found some French brands in resale shops like Hermes, a cashmere sweater for $5. I mean, just
Mm.
it just makes your whole day.
Yeah, thrift
And
stores. Yeah.
yeah, so thrifting is so much fun, and you can go to Nordstrom's and male or female, and they have beauty experts that don't charge you anything, and you can sit in their chair. And if you're a man, you can say, "What, you know, facial care do I need to
Fix
give
this
myself?"
face.
Yeah, fix this face. Oh my God. And for men, they have all men's products. For women, they have women's products. But you don't have to buy anything, but you could get a makeover, just some information that, listen, I did this for myself today. It makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, you even
So,
said you could be a curator, a confidant,
yes,
a
right.
collaborator. I mean, explain some of
Yes.
those roles.
Well, as a curator, I think it's important that you create a wardrobe that works for your lifestyle. So, as a caregiver, would you say that most have a uniform that they're wearing to work?
Only the paid one.
Yeah.
Only the paid ones. Okay, so we talk about them first. Well, we should talk about the volunteers first. Um, but there should be that's a uniform that they're wearing.
Yeah.
But just to make it feel better for themselves, they can have a drawer of accessories they could just add because the patient that they'll have, depending on what shape they're in, they'll still see some shine and just see, oh, you look, they'll probably tell you look good today, and that boosts your spirits for the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah. And
and
even don't do it in pajamas if you're a volunteer caregiver. I mean, try to have
try
someone
to
pay
look
you a compliment. Like if
yes.
you were caregiving your mother or something, and you came looking like this, you'd perk her spirits up.
I always, when I caregive, I always try to add an element of surprise to my look because it makes the patient feel better and they stop thinking about their problems for a few minutes. If I can bring them that joy with some good music, I always try to bring a treat. I find out in advance if they're diabetic or whatever, and bring a treat for them. And if they can't eat anything, maybe a stuffed animal from the Dollar Tree, like you said. No matter
Yeah.
how old you get, having something to hug is always a wonderful thing to bring.
All right, Debbie, you got anything?
Well, I'm really curious. It sounds like you've been the patient or the caregivee more than you've been the caregiver. So I'm wondering if you have some tips as a caregivee of what caregivers can do to be
You're on both
helpful.
sides of the fence.
Yes, I appreciate that. And I had the best caregiver when I broke my neck. I always say it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Because of that, I ended up working in Paris for 10 years. That's a story in itself. But I had the best. We did a whole, because my mind's not broken, but my body is. So, I always say, well, it was something that you've always wanted to do that you've never done, is what I would ask if I was the giver. But as a recipient, I've been following Oprah and writing in a journal what I could do to change her outfit every day, because this is when she was on TV. And so I decided I needed to go buy 5 things that would change her whole wardrobe. And I had my caregiver, put me in my wheelchair, put me in the car, go to the mall, and we spent the whole day just taking our time finding these 5 items for Oprah. And then we are still best friends to this day, this caregiver and I, because she thought that she thought none of my ideas were silly. They would just keep us both busy. And we never talked about my broken neck. Then when she'd have to bathe me, I say, I really like the scent vanilla and anything that smells like dessert. So I said, here's some money. If you don't mind, would you pick me up some? And then it made her feel good because she was doing something for me, and then made me feel good because I smelled good. I mean, they're just little things, but everything added up, and I'm trying to think. I know when I went to present my collection, I was a fashion designer for 10 years, and I had my own label, the Gayla Bentley Fashion Design Group, and I specialized in clothes sizes 12 and up, but I did all sizes. And my first client and forever client was Neiman Marcus. And all the clothes were so very expensive because that's being manufacturing in the United States, clothes get very expensive. But I would love when I had overstock of anything, making sure they went to people like the healthcare field or anything like that. When they came into my salon, I made sure they would get things at cost. Anything you can do to spoil a caregiver. I'm not losing anything. I got my thing paid for because it was at cost, but that made the caregiver feel special that I took the time with her and gave her a deal. So I like deals and I like giving deals.
Well, we're running out of time. Can you tell us something about your book and what
my book,
people
Fashion Stepsister? Well, what's great, one great thing that's about my book, at the end of the book, well, first of all, it's a journey to how I created style because I was a chubby teenager and no one was teaching me because no one knew how to. So I had to learn myself. But at the back of my book, I have this chart, which you can't see very well. But if you follow the formula and the chart in the book, you will develop your personal style and it will make your life so much more fun because you can be one of those people in the room that people go, I wonder who that is. And it's not how much you spent. It's what you chose. And no matter what size you are, what your physical capacity is. When I was in a wheelchair, I looked nice. Excuse me, they had to shave my head. And I figured out, when I went to a funeral, I finally got a few wigs so I could wear wigs. And, it's up to you to take the time to develop everything. That's what it really comes down to. It's not a magical thing. You don't snap your fingers, but if you read the book, you don't have to think about how to do it. The whole story is in here.
That's
and
awesome.
I take you through, and I just take you through my journey from, working at Saks Fifth Avenue. I worked with Queen Noor. In my fashion design group, I worked with Mrs. Bush and did her inauguration outfit. And then I worked with the Men of Victory, dedicating my time to felons. I went from fashion to felons for a period of time. So, it's just, it's all about filling that need to, you're getting love and giving love. You can never give enough love.
Yeah, what a great attitude.
So that's the way I work. And that's what the book is all uplifting. It tells about the tragedies and the triumphs, but God has brought me through every tragedy to make it a triumph, like bringing me here to you today.
And the name of the book again?
Fashion's Stepsister, A Journey to Style. It's a memoir by Gayla Bentley.
Available wherever books are sold, right?
Yeah, well, mostly on Amazon. I have somebody interested in making a movie out of it.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Right. So that's exciting. And I wrote a television show during and did a pilot series and a whole series during COVID.
Wow.
And so I mean, you can't get anywhere unless you keep moving and going.
You are as spectacular as you look. And
well, it takes one to know one with you two, that's for sure.
How can listeners reach you and get a hold of you? You got an email or a website?
I've got GaylaBentley.com. That's my website. And, I'd love to hear from you and your comments or any questions that you have. I love helping people to solve their own personal style. That's my expertise. And I love working with people that have physical challenges and, where to shop and how to buy things and how to alter things. And there's really no excuse, like I said before, of not feeling good about yourself. No matter what you weigh, we can make you look good. And you can make you look good. That's the most important thing. And thank you, all you caregivers, because it's changed my life tremendously for all the things that I had to survive.
And Debbie, how can our listeners reach you to find out all the amazing things you do in the political realm?
Well, mayordebbie.com. as in mayor of the city, or you can go to Amazon and get some of my Integrity 101 series books.
Oh, I
and
love
find out a
that.
little bit more about how to be effective.
Yeah.
And wardrobe is very effective. If you need me, Debbie, Mayor Debbie, I can help any
So
of your
it is.
candidates
Thank you.
look their best on any budget and any size.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it does matter.
Yeah, so we'll all work together to make the world a more beautiful place.
Well, thank you so much. Everybody, remember that all our live shows become recorded pod and videocast on all your favorite platforms. My number one best-selling book, It's Your Life Too, How to Survive and Thrive as a Caregiver, available wherever books are sold, and also my free membership website, caregiverdave.com, and Facebook, Caregiver Dave, 34,000 followers. Join, and we have lots of tools, resources, videos, this radio show, much, much more. And if you click the like or follow button, so important, whatever platform you're on,
It is.
it
Follow
helps
us
Google
all. I'm on
reach
Facebook. Follow Mayor
even
Debbie.
more
Yes.
caregivers. Yes. And you know all
Yes.
about that, don't you?
Yes, and I love my caregivers. I always have, I always will. So anything I can do to be supportive of you all, just let me know.
Thank you so much. We appreciate having you on the
Enjoy
show.
my book.
And thanks to all my listeners out there all over the world tuning in every Wednesday, making us the number one caregiver podcast on the internet. So until next week, same time, same channel. May God richly bless you all. Bye-bye.
Mwah. Bless you all. Thank you so much, you two.
Hey, it was a great show. You are amazing. I mean, you
That was
You are
wonderful.
exceeded my
Thanks.
expectations.
So lively.
Oh, good. Well, you two are.
You'll wake everybody up.
You're
I
just
hope
a breath
so.
of fresh air, and
Mhm.
you're
Well, if you ever
recovering
need
from
me-
heart surgery. I wonder how you
Yes.
are on your A game.
Right. I know. I was in bed all day today. But, this was such a special podcast. I didn't want to miss it because, as you know, as I told you.
Thank you. And you are
I-
a successful person. You never turn down an opportunity.
No.
Because
And
we
you
have to
too.
reschedule you months in advance, and don't want to do that.
Well, I'm glad we're all together helping people
Yes,
in the
thank you
future.
so much.
If you need me
It's
for a
great.
convention, a book signing, anything, I'm in
Great.
Houston. I'm ready to travel, ready to go.
Houston. Okay.
All right. Well, bless you both.
I
You
will
too.
send you links within 24 hours so that you can
Send it out
put
to
on your
promote it.
social media.
That'd be perfect.
God bless you.
All
Thank
right,
you
you
so
two.
much.
Carry on, you two.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye,
Thank
Debbie.
you. Bye-bye now.
I'm Dave Nasani. My fourth book, Secrets from the Hammock, Uncommon Wisdom for Uncommon Times, is a #1 bestseller on Amazon. As a young boy, I was told I possessed an unusual amount of wisdom for my age. As a young man, I found myself counseling friends and older family members whenever they needed answers to their problems. Then at 21, I read the Bible for the very first time and learned how King Solomon asked God for wisdom instead of riches, yet he received both. I was so impressed that I too asked God for wisdom. Soon after, I discovered when lying on my hammock, I would receive wisdom from God. This book is the result of my passion to share with the world wisdom's tremendous benefits. Join me as I reveal practical aspects of wisdom for the mind, body, and spirit. 31 lessons I learned from God that can change your life. Available in hardcover, Audible, Kindle, and paperback, wherever books are sold.
Sometimes it feels like the sun will never rise, like the birds will never sing.